and welcome to Light for Life. If you are returning to our channel, thank you. We value and appreciate you. Our aim is to shine a bright light on your inner splendor and assist to connect you to your magnificence via what we intend to be enlightened sharing, potentially educational, and hopefully entertaining information, as well as encouragement for new perspectives. If you are new here, you are most welcome. We do hope that you will find our content highly beneficial and enjoyable. I am Liss. I'm a Science of Mind practitioner and a teacher of various healing modalities applicable to all aspects of the self and this life.
And I am Lori. I am a holistic wellness researcher and educator. Welcome to Connections with Liss and Lori. We use the space to offer our perspective regarding multiple different topics that we certainly hope you find inspiring. Today, we are going to talk about energy. I like to start talking about energy from a really basic, fundamental level to really simplify what energy is. And usually what I start with that most people can relate to really easily is how the energy of the heart can be measured. So, if you start having chest pains or just chest tightness, if you start having symptoms, one of the first things that they're going to do for you in the hospital is measure the energy in your heart. This can also be said for measuring energy in the brain. If somebody is having some strange spells, or if possibly they think that you're having seizures, they're going to measure the energy in your brain. And from there, I kind of like to stretch it out a little bit. So if we accept that we have energy in our heart, right, and we accept that we have energy going on in our brain, we can understand that we have energy in every single cell. That's when people start talking about ATP and mitochondria and how well a body might function, or in many cases not function so great. If ATP is low, the energy in the cells are low, the mitochondria aren't very happy, our energy is going to be low, right? But when Liss and I get together, we go a little further beyond the cell and the heart and the brain and expand the concept of energy a little further, because to really understand not just the body and health and how all of our being functions, but to understand life itself, we really need to understand some fundamental basics, and one of them really is energy. People like to quote Tesla, Einstein. It can be discussed in so many different ways and in so many different platforms, but today we're hoping to help educate, inform, maybe entertain about our energy field that surrounds our body and what might be going on within that energy field that might be contributing to the things that we want, or maybe contributing to the things that we don't want, and what we can do to both to bring more of what we do want and pull some out of what we don't want. Do you feel that's a good explanation, my love?
Yes, and it's a fabulous place to start, as always, Lori. Wonderful intro. And the fact is that, yes, we can measure the energy in the heart, and we can measure the energy in the brain, and we could even measure the energy in every cell if we wanted to.
Yeah.
But the real question is, where's that energy coming from?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of energy is in the brain? What kind of energy is in the heart? And where is it being derived from? The fact of the matter is that this physical system is the end result of a very, very complicated energetic process that results in this as ta-da! So let's take a step back to where is that energy coming from that we're experiencing in the brain or in the heart or physically in the body. And most people, when they think of the energy field, they think about the way that it's so often presented as the aura.
Mm-hmm.
That around our bodies, we have this field that is emitted.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, the energy that is in our physical body does radiate out into the aura, but the aura is also a composite of fields larger than itself that it's attracting in. So like with all things, it's a dynamic exchange. It's an energy flow. So we are resonating out and affecting the energy field, and the energy field is also receiving and affecting the physical body. And it's about how balanced and beautiful is that relationship. So primarily, from a mental point of view, the energy that we're dealing with is electrical. And from the heart space, the energy that we're dealing with is magnetic. And that is why we say that down here, we exist within the electromagnetic spectrum, because that is what is generating all this physicality and the quality of it. But beyond the aura, what is the aura getting its energy from? What is it linking to, and why and how is it doing that? And that's when we start talking about the energy field that is broader than just our individuality. So we have several bodies, and there are many teachers who speak on this in depth. If people are interested, they can always go and look this up. But in terms of a brief summary that I can give here in under 5 minutes, we have several bodies that are not visible to our eyes, energetically speaking. So we have a light body, which I would say is the first field beyond the aura. And the light body is essentially the composite of all of our different vibrational energies coming from our feelings, coming from our physical state of being, and coming from the quality of our thoughts. And what is attracted or repelled by that light body from the quantum field in which all morphogenetic thought fields are held depends on the resonance of the frequency bands that is holding. So beyond the light body, we have the emotional body, where we are very often holding traumas, pain, and identification with stories. And that is what affects the overall resonant frequency of the light body, which is then going to feed in a certain vibration to the aura, which will be translated to the physical body as the quality of energy that we experience physically. Beyond the emotional body, we now have the mental body, and the mental body is usually referred to as a plane because it is far too vast to simply be defined as a body. The mental plane is huge and it has multiple different levels. So there's a conscious mental plane, there is a subconscious mental plane, there's an unconscious mental plane, there's a supraconscious mental plane, and then there are the consciousness streams that flow into that. And then beyond that field is the field of causality. So all those different energetic fields are determining what we can access in terms of cause and actually bring down to experience this result and the quality of that result. So I hope that that was simultaneously a simple enough explanation as well as a succinct enough one. You'll need to tell me, Lori.
I think it was fantastic. I do feel that it will help people understand energy can be a little complex, but it doesn't mean that it's out of our reach of understanding. And when it comes to beginning to create what it is that we do want, I think it's a great explanation to understand how to tap into those different bodies and into those different layers. So like you said, we can start to co-create with that energy and bring into our lives what it is that we don't want, but also simultaneously invite out what doesn't serve us. And really start healing some of those traumas, healing some of the things that perhaps we would call false beliefs, patterns that we've established through our life that just aren't helpful in our lives. It's so beautiful to me to understand the multiple different layers. And now I have something to work with, right? Once I have some understanding and I understand what is going on, now I can really get to work. I can really start creating what I want and letting go of what I don't. And I would hope that
Yeah.
anybody watching this is feeling similarly, like, wow, I didn't know all of that. This is fantastic.
Yeah, the key point is to understand
Mhm.
that before anything is physical, before anything is material, before it's real to our experience, it's first energetic. And it's so much easier for us to shift something that's energetic because it's less dense, it's
Yeah,
lighter, and it
yeah,
hasn't materialized yet. So if we can bring the light of our awareness, which comes from our light body, if we can bring the light of our awareness to what it is that we are energetically creating before we have to experience it, it's so much easier to shift than once it's a physical reality.
mhm,
Once it's a physical reality, it takes some work. Energetically, it's as simple as aligning with a higher or a different frequency band. And we can do that through conscious choice. We can do that through choosing an emotional state of being. And it's pretty instant. So
It,
that's the amazing part.
yeah, and it can be really instant, but I think a lot of us, and I don't want to speak for everybody. I don't want to put words in people's mouths, but I think a lot of us take the flip approach. We think that we have to feel it in order to have it. We think that we need to be it in order to have it. And it's really the flip, right? It's really no, it already exists. We have to bring it in.
Yeah.
It's a bit
Just
of a
align with
flip
it.
in perception. Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
align with it. Exactly.
And understand that the instant shift I'm talking about takes place on the energetic level. That doesn't mean that things are instantly going to shift physically because the physical realm doesn't work that way. Here in the physical realm, we have linear time, we have space, and fortunately, we have the grace of delay. Because if everything that we thought we wanted manifested instantly, it would be an insane world to live in. So, what happens on an energetic plane happens instantly. And then we pull it in to our physical manifested reality. And that isn't an instant process. That can take a while, depending on how big of a shift we've actually accomplished, energetically speaking. But another way that we can assist that is to understand that we don't just have energy centers in our brain and in our heart. On a physical level, yes, but the electromagnetic spectrum concentrates in vortexes throughout our bodies. And those vortexes are fed by energetic rivers. And the more that we can align with, attune to, balance, open up, heal, and expand those centers, the easier we can then use that as a channel, a portal in our own physical body to connect to that wider energy field in order to draw in that which we are choosing and creating.
Beautiful. And I can so relate because many times I think of it as a river as well. And not only washing away what I don't want, but upriver bringing that into me what I do want. I've used the river metaphor in my mind many, many, many times. I love that. That's beautiful. So if
Yeah.
somebody is watching this and really isn't sure how to start, how would you invite someone to start?
Well, there are
How do
so many different ways to start, and there's no right or wrong way. But in terms of the specific topic we're discussing today, a great way would be to become familiar with your main physical energy centers,
Mhm,
to understand where they are located and what they correspond to in the physical body, because they all correspond to aspects of our hormonal system. They all
mhm,
correspond to centers where neural activity and hormone release is vortexed. So if you can understand that your root center is where so many of our more instinctive responses are coming from.
mhm.
And then the next one up is where our creative responses, our ability to bring life into the world is concentrated. So understand the glandular system and understand where in the physical body these centers are and which physical glands they relate to. And then that's going to help you to see that this energy center is not just something that somebody made up. It's linked very much to your actual physical body. And connecting to that center, understanding that you can heal it, you can completely change your mind about that particular area of life that that center governs. You can balance it, you can expand it, and you can get it functioning better. Because very often that's where the misalignment lies. One center is huge and functional and gets a lot of attention and energy, and the other one is tiny and ignored, and the doors are closed. So, energetically speaking, everything is lopsided, and the flow there is going to be next to impossible. When what needs to happen is that all those centers are perfectly aligned. They're all expanded and functioning the same way, spinning at the same rate, given the same amount of love and grace and attention. And the quality of the three main ones in the body are determined by the two that are above and below it. So, for example, if you look at the bottom three centers, traditionally they are red, orange, and yellow. The red center is where all our power issues and our survival issues and our fight or flight is contained. So however much trauma we have or potential addictions, things like that are going to be toxic to that energy center. The yellow center is where our understanding of our personal power is located. It's like our physical sun. So it's about the quality of our life. So if we have issues there around not taking responsibility, not understanding how powerful we are, then that is going to be toxic. So now you take the red and the yellow, and in the frequency spectrum, you mix them together, and that's where you get the orange center from, which is your main lower center. It's your creative center. So how successful you are at creating your own life, how successful your end result creations are, and the extent to which you believe yourself to be a creator is going to be determined by the yellow and the red center. So what we want to do is we want to focus on, oh, I want to create this, and put all our attention on the creation center. But the problems aren't in the creation center. The problems are in the power center and the survival center. So that's where our attention and our healing needs to be. And then the creation center will be healed magically all by itself. And that's how all the centers in the body work. So it's so important to understand that. We all have a certain light quotient. According to where we vibrate, how we live, a certain amount of light is always available to us. So how much of it are we accessing? How much of it are we integrating and embodying? How much are we using of it to benefit ourselves?
And I think something you said in there about belief is of probably primary importance. So many people don't even know that we are light and that we are energy and that we have limitless power. So if we believe that we don't have any power, that's going to unfold, right? I think we can start with looking at some of our beliefs and really self-observing in a way what it is that we do believe about ourselves and about our lives, and seeing if those beliefs work for us anymore. And if they don't, let's just, let them flow right down the river. Bring in these new beliefs that do honor that, we are light. We are light. And we have a lot of power. There are a lot of people in this world that want us to believe we don't have any, but we have a lot of power. And
honey, our language tells us the truth. Our language tells us the truth. This is so simple. It's impossible to deny. Energy is power.
Yeah.
We know this.
Yeah.
We know this. If we had no power, we wouldn't have any energy. If we had no power, we wouldn't be alive.
Yeah.
because it's the power that is the energy, that is the charge that makes us alive. So it's absolutely impossible to say, but I don't have any power. Okay, so you're dead then.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So no more hiding. We don't get to say, I don't have any power.
Yeah. We might not know or understand the power that we have, but
Right.
we have to start by acknowledging that, yes, in fact, I do.
Hmm. Yeah. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely extraordinary to
Yeah.
understand how beautiful our light is and how beautiful our power can be and
Yeah.
what it can create in our lives.
Yeah.
Any
Exactly.
final
That's
words?
gorgeous. No, I think you ended that beautifully.
Yeah, so I would definitely say you are beautiful, you have power, you have energy, you have light, and go create.
And come back here to learn more from us about it.
Exactly. Until we meet again. Thank you for connecting with Light for Life. If you appreciate reminders, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you can receive those notifications. If you would like to work with one of us, you can find our contact information in the About section of this channel.
Yes, thank you for connecting with Light for Life. Please share your insights, your questions, and your comments with us in the comment section below. We value your feedback. And we really hope that we will see you for our next episode. We upload one every Thursday. Until then, bye-bye and be joyful.
Until we connect again, we send you love and light.